Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Strategic Wealth Strategies podcast with our host, Alan Porter. Alan, what's going on, man? How are you?
Good. How you doing, man? Isn't it terrible news about all these banks? That third bank just failed today.
I mean, I can't believe it. Are we in the economic crisis that you predicted with some of our amazing guests that we've had on the podcast? Yes or no?
I think we are, and it's only going to get worse. And people need to protect themselves, and they're not doing it.
Yeah. Van Miller said that it was happening, and this is not it yet, right?
No, it's not even close.
Oh, goodness gracious.
We're going to come out of it in the end, but we're not going to have the standard of living we used to. But what I want to show you today is it's going to be a couple things. I want to show a short video, and I want to show you a PowerPoint that I had made up. It's real short. But these two things, people, especially have 401ks or some type of qualified plan, they need to take heed of what I'm saying today, because if they don't, it's gonna bite them in the end. Okay?
I'm ready.
All right. Let me share this and start it from the beginning. Okay, can you see this now?
Yep.
All right. 401ks are a scam. And I get a lot of heat when I tell people 401ks are a scam. But I have the numbers, scientific, economic, and mathematical facts to back up everything that I say. And but I said, what I need to do is I need to put something out there is the shows the proof. So you want proof? Here it is. Just 6 reasons. Now there's more. Believe me, there's more. Reason number 1, the tax deferral scam. Now understand this. In our immediate gratification society, deferring taxes by funding 401k sounds good. But let me ask you a question. Can you tell me what the tax rate will be in 10, 20, 30 years from now? The Congressional Budget Office report states that by the year 2030, if taxes not increased by over 60%, and actually I think it's 66%, across the board, the country will go bankrupt. And that's just on $31 trillion we have now, not the money that's going to be added. Unfortunately, if tax rates go up and you're successful and are growing your nest egg, you only be paying higher taxes, but on a bigger number. So that destroys the whole tax deferral argument. Don't you agree?
Totally. Because you're going to pay more in taxes later than now if you would just pay it now.
Yeah, I tell people, what would the farmers do? Pay taxes on the seed, or would they pay taxes on the harvest? Well, I want to pay taxes on the smallest amount, but the government wants you to pay taxes on the harvest, which is a larger amount, and it's going to be at a higher rate. Reason number 2, the free money scam. I have people tell me this all the time. Contribute to the 401k, like Dave Ramsey said, contribute to the 401k up to the match. That's free money. And I've been told that free money for years until I did some more research into it. Who doesn't love getting free money in the form of 401k employer match? Do you believe your 401k is your employer is giving you something for nothing? No, they don't. The Center of Retirement Research did a study based on tax data and found out that for every dollar the employee contributes to your 401k match, they pay 90 to 99 cents less in salary in average. People don't know that. Plus, you don't even get a full employee match during the first 4 to 6 years that you work for them. You need to be vested. And if you leave before that, you don't get any of it. And according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the average time a person stays in the job is only 4.1 years. And if you're younger, it's 3 years. So there goes that carrot. Okay. Fees devour your hard-earned money. I had people tell me, well, I asked them, I said, how much are your fees? Well, I don't know. Well, what's your financial planner say? Well, I think it's 1%. I said, that's not all the fees of 401k. And this is by Forbes magazine. The average fee for 401k is 2.88% across the board. And a 1% fee, Neil, in a 30-year period will decrease your income by 1/3. And these people that work for smaller companies, they're going to be fortunate to get even half of what they contributed out of that plus the growth, because the rest of it goes to fees. People don't understand. They don't even know what they're invested in. They may say, okay, you pick this mutual fund. Well, mutual funds have fees that are 4.5%. And that's by Forbes also, lat times. I mean, people just don't understand. And I'm going to show you a short video here in a minute of what fees are going to do. Reason 401, like putting money in prison, you can't get to it. I'll give you an example. If you put money in a savings account, you can have access to it, and the employer match is another scam. But they keep it under lock and key until 59 and a half in your 401k or qualified plan. If you try to access it, it's a 10% penalty plus all the taxes. You have to beg for permission to get your own money. There's all kinds of restrictions and penalties, and just in accessing your own money. I want to have liquidity, use, and control of my money. I don't want the government to have control of it. So that's number 4. Number 5, the myth of market returns. And this is absolutely, the banks or your financial advisors tell you, oh, the average return. When somebody talks to me about average return, I don't want to listen to them because I want to know what the actual return is. I'll give you a Reader's Digest version. Let's say that you have $100,000 in an account. You get 100% return the first year. So now you have $200,000, correct, Neil?
Right.
The next year you have 50% loss.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're back down to $100,000. The third year you have 100% gain. You're back to $200,000. But the fourth year you have a 50% loss. You're back to $100,000.
So what do they try to do is say that they're trying to say basically the average for that period versus what really happened to your money.
Because the average, you average the 100 plus 100 minus 50 plus 100 minus, that's a 25% average. But your zero, your actual return is 0 because you're right back to where you started. And that doesn't even include the fees. You're told that over the long term, you can do well in the stock market. But in the past 2 decades, the average equity mutual fund investor has only earned 4.25%.
Oh, that's terrible. I remember sitting down, then we keep going, Alan, this is important. And they're showing me, oh my gosh, 20%, 30%. Look at all this. I said, why am I going to? I was smart. I said, I'm seeing what the market is. And what if the market goes down? How much is it really going to earn? And he said, well, and then here's the other part when you see 4.235% per year. They go, well, no, we are going to go above inflation. That's one of their biggest things. We go above inflation. If you put money in underneath a mattress, you're going to be better off just doing the 4.2 to get over inflation.
Yes, I've got products and strategies that you put this money in, it grows tax deferred, you get your money tax free, and it's over 4%, and that's guaranteed. And the average investor only averages 2.89% per year, and they're saying beating inflation by less than 1%. Inflation right now is, I think it's 8 or 9%, but that doesn't take into account food or fuel. It's probably around 15 to 17%. Yet here's the thing: Wall Street has brainwashed us for years and years and years to believe in the 60-40 split in stocks and bonds. That may have worked 30 years ago. It doesn't work today. You can't have a 60-40 split and expect to have a successful retirement because of the volatility of the market. And it's something that people do not understand. They're not educated on it, but they need to be. They need to ask some questions. And hopefully after I give this PowerPoint today and the videos that I'm going to show after this, people will understand, oh my God, why has nobody ever told me this before? Financial planners don't tell you about sequence returns risk. They don't tell you about longevity risk. They don't tell you about the number one fear in retirement, running out of money before you run out of life. They don't tell you about the taxation of Social Security or the means testing for Medicare Part B. They don't tell you about RMDs, required minimum distribution, where if you don't take out the money, it used to be at age 70 and a half, now it's age 72. If you don't take that money out, it's a 50% penalty plus all the taxes. They don't tell you about that. And I don't know why. They're supposed to be fiduciaries. I mean, I can go on and on about that because I turned in my registered investment advisor this last week because I got a conflict of interest. I don't like charging people a fee on fees that I manage, whether they make money or not. So I don't even do it anymore. But I have a team of people on my team. If you want stocks and bonds, I'll refer you to them. Reason number 6, after decades of being lab rats, the great 401k, most pre-retirees still don't even have close to enough. I think the average amount in a 401k is $135,000.
You're not going to be able to do much with that.
No, maybe you live 2 years. and it's not going to be
And
standalone.
people are going to live 30, if they're wanting to live a long life, how's $135,000 going to do? I think that ultimately at the end of the day is that you got to live for long term, and the long term retiring at 65 and having enough money in the bank to survive the rest of your life, it's not happening without long term or anything like that.
Neil, I can show people, I'm not going to make people rich, but I'm going to make sure that they have a healthy, less stressful, happy life, because I'm going to ensure them that they have money to last long past when they pass away, both them and their spouse. I will give them guaranteed income. And it's a study by Harvard that if you have a stock portfolio, you've got a lot of stress in your life, and your retirement days are going to be stressful. They're going to be less healthy, and you're going to live a much less happy life. And I'm going to tell people, I don't make you rich, but I'm going to make sure that you've got plenty of money to last. You may be out of assets, but I can still give you guaranteed income. And you need to contact me, and I'll show you how we do that. Even the father of 401k, Ted Binion, and there's a video on him. That's not in this one, but he's called the 401k. It's out of a control monster. It should be blown up. He puts most of his money into my type of strategy and strategies. How much more evidence do we need that 401ks are not the solution they're touted to be? The more accurate plan for is a hope and pray.
Because the government wants to control a 401k at one point, Alan.
Yeah. It makes Wall Street rich and not you. And you'll see this in a minute, okay? So are there good alternatives to 401k? Absolutely. The answer is yes, but whoops. The answer is yes. You won't hear about it from Wall Street. Also, you will not hear about it from your present stock advisor if he or she deals in stocks and bonds. If this is the case and they call themselves fiduciary, when they get paid a fee, whether you make money or not, are they looking out for themselves, or are they looking out for the best interest of themselves? Excuse me, are they looking out for yourself or the best interest of themselves and the companies they work for? Here are at least 10 benefits and more using my tax-free retirement strategy. It makes an excellent alternative to conventional retirement plans. As far as I'm concerned, it's the best tax code approved tax-free retirement system available today, bar none, because of all the benefits. And this is just some of them. Guaranteed predictable growth and retirement income with no luck, skill, or guesswork required. No volatility. Your policy doesn't go backward when the markets tumble because you're protected by contract, never to have a loss due to monetary turn down because we are not tied to the market. You're in control. That's what I express. People need to have liquidity, use, and control of your money. Tax advantages. This is absolutely huge. The money grows tax deferred. You get your money in distributions tax free. It does not affect taxation of Social Security or means testing Medicare Part B. And I think I bring this up later, but that's thousands of dollars a year in liquidity. Your cash value can easily and immediately be tapped for any resource at all, and your policy continue to grow as though you never touched a dime of it.
Right.
You become your own bank, pay yourself compound interest and not the financial institutions. The fees don't compound against you because fees in an insurance policy are inverted. As the cost of insurance, as the cash value gets closer to the death benefit, your fees go down. And not so with a 401k plan, not so with stock and bond portfolio. As that portfolio increases, so do your fees. It's protected from lawsuits, liens, and judgments. This is absolutely critical for business owners and doctors. It avoids probate. And many people don't know what probate is, but if you don't have the right exit strategy when you die, the proper will and trust, the government's going to control everything. I say a lawsuit that's initiated by you that you're going to pay for and you're going to lose.
That's because the assets then, if you don't have the right executor and all that work and all that money, that's going to go to probate if there's arguments.
Because
so give an example, right? There you have, let's say, an executor, but that executor is not getting along with the entire family and you battle it out, you're going to probate court, aren't you?
Yep.
And then that means none of it's going to be worth what it was.
Well, the thing is, too, you've got to protect it because everybody remembers Prince the Entertainer, I believe. He died a couple of years ago. I think 3 years now. I think it's still in probate. He didn't have an exit plan, but his beneficiaries are going to lose probably 85% of that estate because the government's going to sell all the assets just to pay the taxes on his assets. Cash value life insurance is the greatest wealth transfer vehicle available. I do policies for multimillionaires. They don't need insurance, but they need a wealth transfer vehicle to pay the taxes on their assets. And I brought this up before, does not affect taxation of Social Security or the means testing for Medicare Part B, which will be thousands per year. But this one's the other one, tax-free long-term care option. This is absolutely imperative because the long-term care options in life insurance policies and some annuities. My daughter-in-law was 39 years old when she contracted Parkinson's, not Parkinson's, but pancreatic cancer, and they would give her 6 months to live. And if it had not been for the terminal illness rider, would let her access up to 90% of that death benefit tax-free, my son would be bankrupt because he's 100% disabled and was not getting any money. It took us 3.5 years just to get his disability.
Oh.
But think about that.
So that's what life insurance does, is it protects you. It protects you from death, but it also protects you from illness. It protects you from disability.
It protects you if you live too long through tax-free policy loans, if you die too soon through the death benefit for your family, or if you get sick with long-term care options. And long-term care, Neil, costs right now between $50,000 to $200,000 a year and goes up by probably 6% or more every year. But there's so many more benefits. I've got a white paper I've written. It's got like 29 benefits that compares to cash value life insurance as compared to any stock and bond portfolio.
Mm-hmm.
Please don't forget to share this with your family and friends. If any of this would interest you, contact me at 910-551-1046. My email is strategicwealth, the number 0 @gmail.com. Now I'll prepare a fee analysis for you. And I want to watch you for thanking this short video, but I'm not done yet because I want to bring up something. These are videos, third-party information, not me. This is very, very important. Okay. All right. Stop my share here.
Okay.
And let me get back to this. Just give me a second.
Okay. So there's such great information on the Strategic Wealth Strategies podcast. Alan is killing it with this great information. I never heard of it, so I met Alan Porter. So trust me on this, ladies and gentlemen. I was always hearing the Dave Ramsey thing, put it into 401k, and that's the only way for retirement, and contribute. And then maybe, just maybe, you're going to hope the market goes well. That's it. Ring in the prayer.
All right, here we go.
All right, now it's about to pull something else up. Okay, all right.
All right, now this is just the first one. This is about a minute long.
Okay.
Can everybody see this with Tony Robbins?
Yes.
Okay.
I learned so much about the abuse that happens to the average person. It's mind-boggling.
You've specifically looked into the fees that people pay at 401ks and the fact that most people don't even know that they pay a fee.
This is the most amazing thing, that for 30 years, they didn't have to tell you what they were charging you. Only 3 years ago, the Department of Labor changed the rules and said, you got to tell people what you charge them. Wow. So now they do that, using a 35 or 50-page disclosure document that if you have a PhD in finance, maybe you can figure out the hidden fees.
Yeah, good luck.
So here's what you have to know. Most people, 58% of the people don't even think there are any fees. A 1% in fee, because of the compounding over time, costs you 10 years of retirement income. The average person thinks they're paying less than 1% or nothing, and they're paying 3.1%. That's 30 years of fees. So I'll give you an example. If you have a 35-year-old person, they have $100,000 and they put it in the market and they let it compound for 30 years till they're going to retire, and they're paying 1% in fees, they have $761,000, which is a nice growth from that time. But if you paid 3% in fees for the same stocks, you have $432,000. So in other words, you have 76% more money if you have less fees. Or on the other view, you have 19 years less income.
Okay, that's one. All right. Here is the next one. See this? Department of Labor?
Yes.
Okay.
Department of Labor. You're participating in your employer's retirement plan. Congratulations. You're an investor. You want to see your account grow. Making good investment decisions can have a real impact on how much your savings grow. And making good investment decisions comes from making informed investment decisions. Learn about the investment options you have to choose from in your plan and understand the costs involved with those investments. All services have costs, even those related to investments through your retirement plan. To help you consider these fees and expenses, look for the annual statement from your plan. It will help you compare the costs of the investment options under your plan and see exactly what you paid. While fees are not the only consideration when making investment decisions, they need to be one because they are paid for from your plan account and reduce your savings. Over time, this impact adds up. Let's take a quick look at how fees can affect you. Assume that you're an employee with 35 years until retirement and a current 401k account balance of $25,000. If returns on investments in your account over the next 35 years average 7% and fees and expenses reduce your average returns by 0.5%, your account balance will grow to $227,000 at retirement, even if there are no further contributions to your account. If fees and expenses are 1.5%, however, your account balance will grow to only $163,000. The 1% difference in fees and expenses would reduce your account balance at retirement by 28%. So take advantage of the fee information provided by your plan. Be actively involved in your retirement account investments and make informed decisions. For more information, see the publication, A Look at Plan Fees. If you have questions, contact the Employee Benefits Security Administration at www.askebsa.dol.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Labor.
Now, this last one is the real eye-opener. See it, IRA?
Yeah.
Okay.
The effects of the current economic crisis have touched everyone. Even if you still have a good job and a paid-up mortgage, chances are your monthly 401k statement will remind you that you've lost a good chunk of your savings. Trillions of dollars have evaporated from those accounts that have become the prime source of retirement funds for a majority of American workers, affecting their psyche and their future. If you're still young enough, there's time to rebuild and recover. But if you're in your 50s or 60s or beyond, the consequences can be dire. And it's drawing attention to the shortcomings of a retirement system that's jeopardized the financial security of tens of millions of people.
The fact is that the typical 401k investor is a financial novice. They don't know a stock from a bond. And we give them a list of 20 or 30 mutual funds with really, really powerful names. You know, they sound like, gee, that's where I want to have my money.
What are generally the quality of the mutual funds and 401k plans?
Mediocre. I'll be real honest with you. With half the funds on the list, really dogs, what people would characterize as dogs, shouldn't be on the list to start with.
There clearly has been a raid on these funds by the people of Wall Street, and it's cost the savers and the future retirees a lot of money that would otherwise be in their account, independent of the financial collapse.
Representative George Miller of California is chairman of the House Committee on Education and Labor and a staunch critic of the 401k industry, especially its practice of deducting more than a dozen undisclosed fees from its clients' 401k accounts.
Now you got a bunch of economic wizards jumping in and taking money out of your retirement plan, and they don't want to tell you how much. You can't decipher it in simple English, and they're not interested in disclosing it or having any transparency about it.
And most of the people that look at their 401ks have no idea that these fees are being taken out.
No. Where would you find it? Where would you find these fees in this prospectus? You can look on any page you want, and when you're all done reading it, and you will find some of the fees and the commissions here, but you won't find them all, and I bet you won't find half of them.
There are legal fees, trustee fees, transactional fees, stewardship fees, bookkeeping fees, finder's fees, and the list goes on and on. Miller's committee has heard testimony that they can eat up half the income in some 401k plans over a 30-year span, but he has not been able to stop it.
We tried to just put in some disclosure and transparency in these fees, and we felt the full fury of that financial lobbying.
David Ray, a lobbyist for the 401k industry, says he favors disclosing.
This guy is a complete idiot. He thinks we're idiots. This guy will be put in jail as far as I'm concerned.
The fees, but his partners in the financial industry don't. You think most people know these fees exist?
I think they know that there are fees. They don't know exactly how large they are.
Why do you think the financial services industry is opposed to fee transparency?
I don't know that they're opposed to it. I think the issue is.
You don't think they're opposed to it?
Well, they want to keep.
You're a lobbyist in Washington, right? You know they're opposed to it.
Look, you can't say
George Miller hasn't been able to get a bill to the floor. I think they want to keep the systems as simple and not make changes. They like the way things are, and whenever you push people out of their comfort zones, you know, it's an issue.
I mean, they're comfortable with the situation because they're making a ton of money, or they have made a ton of money.
I mean, think about that.
Yeah.
These people think we're idiots. And stuff that's like that, it's just people do not know about it, and they need to be educated on this stuff, Neil. They have no idea.
Totally. And thinking about the fees, so are they disclosing fees now, Alan, or not?
Yeah, but I don't think they're disclosing all of them. Not until 2 years ago, they didn't have to disclose hardly any of them.
So are the and I never heard about fees at all till now. So my question is, if you go to somebody and says you're going to sign up for a 401k, it's probably in the small print, right?
Oh, yeah, very small print. I mean,
They're not going to mention them, are they?
no.
Do they have to mention them?
I don't know if they have to mention them or not because I've never had a 401k, but I know the dangers of it, and that's why I do what I do. That's why I have a passion for what I do, Neil.
What do you recommend people that are employees that are getting a match and all that? What should they do with that?
With a match?
Yeah.
Well, first off, you better stay employed 4 to 6 years. You're not going to have it anymore because you have to be vested. But I can show them how to even I've got software and I can prove this through, because the numbers don't lie. Even if somebody gives almost a 50% match, what we can do with cash value life insurance, because of the tax laws, we can outperform that.
Oh my gosh. So some powerful things, Alan, and people need to contact you today because you say you're not going to get them rich, but ultimately you're going to save their money. The hard money you've earned will not disappear, and you'll earn some. Or would you rather have your hard money disappear, or the government take it, or banks to fail, and become your own banker? That's the greatest thing, the autonomy of becoming your own banker. We've almost gotten to the back to the days it's okay to put money under a mattress, Alan. At least this time it's going to be protected.
But I show people how to protect themselves, how to protect their assets, how to become their own banker, how to protect themselves from long-term care with tax-free money, how to protect themselves from litigation, how to protect themselves from the taxation of Social Security, the means testing, Medicare Part B. There's no financial product out there in your 401k or any other product that will do any of those benefits. But Neil, I mean, I'm so serious. I'm so passionate about what I do. People need to talk to me or some properly trained financial advisor to let them understand what I'm trying to say today and put them in a plan that will give them tax-free money in retirement, especially when they need it.
Okay.
And protect them from all the, long-term care, Social Security tax, and everything else. Because Social Security, that's scheduled to run on money by 2035. And it's just a math problem. And how much time we got left?
Well, you keep going. What else do you want to talk about?
Just like Social Security. I think it was enacted in 1942 or 35, and it was first paid out in 42. I'm not sure. I think there was 42 or 44 workers for one individual. You couldn't take it out till 65. Life expectancy was 62. Now you can take it out at 62. Life expectancy is 85 for a man, 87 for a woman. And if you're married at age 65, you got a 50% chance of living past 90 and a 25% chance of living past 95. Now think about that. But the big problem is there's only 3 workers for one individual right now. And in 8 more years, there's only going to be 2. So they're going to have to change Social Security. They can change it, but I think what they're going to probably do is raise the age and reduce the benefits. But we've got to have Social Security in the United States because I think 60% of the people in the United States rely on Social Security as their number one source of income in retirement.
That's crazy.
It's sad because you're in poverty level.
Totally. All right. This is awesome stuff. Best place to go, Alan.
Again, call me at 910-551-1046 or email me at strategicwealth, the number 0 @gmail.com. It's right here in the right-hand corner. or you go to my website. It's it's www. alanporter.nc.com/strategic wealth strategies. I've got all kinds of videos on my LinkedIn page. I got all kinds of videos and stuff on YouTube. Just look at them, educate yourself, because that's what you need to do.
All right, Alan, we appreciate it. Great information again. And wow, we have to really look out for our money. We'll wonder what next week's podcast is about. Another bank failing? Who knows, Alan? Take care.
All right. Thank you very much, Neil.
All right. That was the Strategic Wealth Strategies podcast, guys. Take care.